warm welcome to APSC Bro. Today we are going to do our second video on the most probable questions of polity for this year prelims examination. As I have already discussed in the previous video, that polity is one of the most important part of any GS paper, and hence the proper preparation of polity and doing as many questions as possible from polity is very important for your preparation. Now, recently delimitation process of Assam was being initiated, and it was in news for a long time. Now, because this is a hot topic, so you can expect some questions from delimitation commission that can be asked in this year prelims examination. The first question that can be asked is, how many times delimitation commission has been constituted till date? So first we have to understand what is delimitation. Now delimitation is simply the division of a state or the country into various constituencies. Now like the Assam, our state Assam is divided into 14 Lok Sabha constituencies. Now the way in which these 14 Lok Sabha constituencies are divided, like which area will come under constituency number 1, which will come under number 2. So this division of area as per constituencies is delimitation. And a commission is established in order to do this division of constituencies, and that commission is called delimitation commission. Now the first delimitation commission act was passed in 1952. Till date we have 4 delimitation exercise being carried out. First in 1952, second in 1963, third in 1973, and last one in 2002. Okay, this was not carried out in Assam, but it was carried out in the rest of India. Okay, so till date there are 4 delimitation commissions that has been established in order to carry out the delimitation process. So the correct answer in this case is option B, that is 4. Okay, let us quickly do another question on delimitation. The question is, with reference to the delimitation commission, consider the following statements and see which one of them is correct. Now in this type of question, keep one thing in mind, what is written here. Sometimes they will ask you which is the incorrect statement. In this case they are asking which is the correct one. Okay, please give importance to what is written here, whether they are asking you to find out the incorrect question, a statement, or the correct statement. Okay, now the statements are, there are 2 statements. The first statement is that the orders of the delimitation commission cannot be challenged in a court of law. That is the first statement. Second statement, when the orders of the delimitation commission are laid before the Lok Sabha or state legislative assembly, they cannot affect any modification in the order. Now both these statements are correct. First thing, whenever the delimitation commission will give its orders or will do the delimitation, it cannot be challenged in any court. That is, the court cannot change the constituencies. It can be only changed by the delimitation commission, and hence the statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2, again, whenever the delimitation commission will place its findings or its results, orders, before the Lok Sabha or the state legislative assembly, they cannot do any modification on it. That is, the power to delimit the constituencies or form the constituencies is only with the delimitation commission. Okay, so both these statements are correct, so answer is C. Okay, next question. A deadlock between the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha calls for a joint sitting of the parliament during the passage of, they are asking you, whenever there is a deadlock between the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, suppose there is a bill which was introduced in the Lok Sabha, they pass it and they send it to Rajya Sabha. Now the Rajya Sabha, either they can reject it or they will not give their decision, right? If there is any that sort of deadlock happening, then the parliament can call for a joint sitting, that both the houses can come together and then decide what to do with the bill. Okay, now in this question they are asking you, they are giving you 3 legislation. First, ordinary legislation, that is ordinary bill. Second, money bill, and third, constitution amendment bill. Now they are asking you, among these 3, in which case then there can be a joint sitting. Okay, let us see what is a joint sitting. First thing, joint sitting is provided as per article number 108. This is also important from prelims point of view. Now the joint sitting is called by the president. Joint sitting of the parliament is summoned by the president. However, it is presided over by the speaker of Lok Sabha. Now this is important. Okay. Whenever there is a joint sitting, though both the houses will come together, the session is presided by the speaker of Lok Sabha. Okay. Now there are two types of bill in which you cannot call a joint sitting. First, Constitution Amendment Bill. Why? Because as per Article 368, Article 368 deals with the amendment of the Constitution. As per this article, the Constitution Amendment Bill has to be separately passed by both the houses. Okay? By a special majority of 2/3 majority. And hence, because it has to be passed separately by both the houses, so both the houses cannot come together to pass it. If any of the house doesn't pass it, that means it cannot be an act. Okay, so Constitution Amendment Bill cannot have a joint sitting. Second, money bill, it is under Article 110. Yes, all the money bills will come under Article 110. 108 is financial bills. Okay, money bill, only Lok Sabha has absolute power over the money bills. Rajya Sabha has no power to reject or modify a money bill, and hence cannot have a joint sitting. So in our case, you see, out of the three bills, this both cannot have a joint sitting. So the only option that we are left out is option A, that is ordinary legislation. Okay, so joint sitting can only be possible in case of ordinary legislation and not in terms of money bill or Constitution Amendment Bill. Okay, next question. In the Parliament of India, the purpose of an adjournment motion is. Now, before going into the options, let us see what is an adjournment motion. Now, adjournment motion is introduced only in the Lok Sabha. That is also important. Adjournment motion cannot be called in Rajya Sabha. Now, why do we call it adjournment motion? It is introduced to draw the attention of the House to a definite matter of urgent public importance. Now, suppose there is some kind of emergency or any kind of thing that requires urgent debate and urgent action. In that case, a adjournment motion can be introduced in the Lok Sabha. Now, because whenever there will be adjournment motion, it will show that the government has failed in something. Okay, and it will have an element of censure, and hence Rajya Sabha cannot introduce a adjournment motion. Okay, so our options are, what is the purpose of adjournment motion? It is to allow a discussion on a definite matter of urgent public importance. So the correct answer is A, to allow a discussion on a definite matter of urgent public importance. Okay, next question. What will follow if a money bill is substantially amended by the Rajya Sabha? Option A, Lok Sabha will still proceed with the bill, accepting or not accepting the recommendations of the Rajya Sabha. Option B, Lok Sabha cannot consider the bill any further. That means the bill will get rejected. Option C, the Lok Sabha may send the bill to Rajya Sabha for reconsideration. First time the Rajya Sabha rejected the bill, so Lok Sabha will again send it back for reconsideration. D, the president may call for a joint sitting for passing the bill. Now we've discussed in our previous question that a money bill, Lok Sabha has absolute power and Rajya Sabha has no power to amend it or put it keep it on hold. Yes, and the president cannot call for a joint sitting. So this things is not possible. Okay, Rajya Sabha has no power, so there is no point of reconsideration. The only option is option A, that is the Lok Sabha may still proceed with the bill of accepting whether the Rajya Sabha accepts it or rejects it. Okay, now Rajya Sabha can only make recommendations. It cannot do any changes and has to return the bill within 14 days. If the Rajya Sabha does not return the bill in 14 days, it will still be considered passed. Okay, so it has no power on a money bill. Next question, which of the following statement is correct? Now they have given you two statements and they asking you which of the statement is correct. Okay, the statements are: option 1, the amendment of the Constitution of India can be initiated by an introduction of a bill in the Lok Sabha only. Option 2, if such an amendment seeks to make changes in the federal character of the Constitution, the amendment also requires to be ratified by the legislature of the states of India. Okay, now in the previous question we already know that a amendment bill has to be passed separately by both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and hence there is not possible to have a joint sitting. Now to understand the process of amendment, let us go into the details. First, the amendment can be initiated only by the introduction of a bill for the purpose in either house of the parliament. So it can be introduced in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. First thing. Second thing, it can be introduced by both a minister or a private member. Like anyone can do it. Okay, and it does not require the permission of the president. It can be introduced without the prior permission of the president. It must be passed in each house by a special majority, that is 2/3 majority, and hence it cannot have a joint sitting. The bills which seeks to amend the federal provision of the Constitution, that is division of power between the center and the state, any such kind of bills, amendment bills, has to be passed by at least half of the states by a simple majority. Both the houses has to pass it. In addition to that, at least half of the Indian states have to approve it. Only then such amendment bills can be passed. After the passage of the bill by both the houses, it is presented to the president for his assent. Now the president is bound to give his assent to the bill. He can neither withhold it or return the bill. Okay. After the assent of the president, it becomes an act. So in this case, you see, the first option is incorrect because it can be initiated in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. However, the second option is correct. So the answer is B. That is, only second option is correct. The next question. Again, they are giving you three statements this time, and they are asking you which of them are correct. Now, the first option is a bill amending the Constitution requires a prior recommendation of the President of India. Now, we have discussed already in the previous question that this is not required. Permission is not required, and at the end, President have to give his assent. Okay. Second statement: when a Constitution amendment bill is presented to the President of India, it is obligatory for the President of India to give his or her assent. Now, this is also correct. We have already discussed. Now, option 3, statement 3, a Constitution amendment bill must be passed by both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha by special majority, and there is no provision for joint sitting. Now, this is also correct. So, first option is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect, but 2 and 3 are correct. So, option B is correct. That both 2 and 3 statements are correct. Next question. Which one of the following suggested? They have given you some certain commissions and committees. They are asking you which of this committee suggested that the governor should be an eminent person from outside the state. Now, suppose we want there is a new appointment of a governor to Assam, then that person has to be outside Assam, from outside Assam. Okay, and should be a detached figure without intense political links. That political people usually should be avoided from being appointed as governor. So which of these committees suggested this? Option A, First Administrative Reform Commission of 1966, Rajmanar Committee, Sarkaria Commission, National Commission to Review the Working of the Constitution. The correct answer is Sarkaria Commission. Okay. Sarkaria Commission was submitted its report in 1988. Constituted in 1983, submitted its report in 1988. Now, the Sarkaria Commission usually was constituted to deal with examine the relationship and balance of power between the state and the central government. And because governor is usually treated as the agent of central government to look after the state, and hence the Sarkaria Commission said that that person cannot belong to that state, first thing, and second thing, he should not be very much politically involved. Okay. Next question. If the President of India exercises his power as provided under Article 356 of the Constitution in respect of a particular state, then option A, the assembly of the state is automatically dissolved. Option B, the powers of the legislature of the state shall be accessible by or under the authority of the parliament. Option C, Article 19 is suspended in that state. Option D, the president can make laws relating to the state. Now first you have to understand what is Article 356. Article 356 is the article dealing with president's rule. Now whenever the center feels that the constitutional framework of any state has been breached, or the government of state government is not being able to carry out the its functions and in the manner it should as per constitution, then the president's rule can be implemented in that state, and that is as per Article 356. Now if you see, whenever the article number 356, that is president rule, is applied to a state, the powers of the legislature of the state is transferred to the parliament. Now the parliament can directly make, parliament in the sense center can directly make rule X for the state. Okay, parliamentary approval is necessary for the imposition of president rule, first thing. Second thing, proclamation of president rules should be approved by both the houses within 2 months of its issue. Okay, and this is as it can be passed simply by simple majority. Okay, it is initially implemented for a period of 6 months, but it can be extended to a maximum of 3 years, in which every 6 months it has to be renewed. Okay, it can be revoked, that means it can be withdrawn from the state simply by a subsequent proclamation, that is order by the president. Now to withdraw a president rule, you need not pass it by the parliament, but to implement it you need the approval of the parliament. But to withdraw the president rule, we need not have the approval of the parliament. Okay, so option is B, that is whenever there will be president's rule in a state, the power of the state legislature is transferred to the parliament, that is the center. Okay, so these are the important topics and important questions that we have discussed for polity in this video. Make a note of all the topics that we have discussed. Stay tuned to our channel. We will bring you